Childcare owners, how is everybody doing today? My name is Donna and I am a childcare CFO. What I do is I assist childcare owners in ensuring that you guys do not pay more than your fair share in taxes with legal IRS loopholes and guidelines. And I also assist childcare owners in assisting you guys on your annual revenue growth with strategic financial management. Okay, so what today's video is going to be about is the famous subject of the ERC, which is known as the Employee Retention Credit. Okay, so how many of you childcare owners out there have heard of the Employee Retention Credit, who, you're just unclear about what is the Employee Retention Credit? What can it do for me as a childcare owner? What are the ins and outs of it? How can I qualify and things like that? We work with a lot of childcare owners, so we get these questions on a daily basis. So just wanted to inform the childcare owner of actually what the Employee Retention Credit is and how it may fit your particular childcare operations or operations. Okay, so the ERC is the Employee Retention Credit. This is money from the government that is given to, doesn't matter what industry you are, but specifically since I am addressing childcare owners, it's money given by the government to you as the childcare owner for retaining staff. Okay, that's why it's called employee retention, for retaining staff during the pandemic. Okay, it's basically really an award, an incentive for you keeping staff on, and the government wanted to show its appreciation to you as the childcare owner, which is how they came up with the Employee Retention Credit. It's a credit, which means that credits are dollar for dollar, which means that you're going to get money back. That's what a credit realistically means, okay? So it's an employee retention credit, and it's for you for keeping staff on, retaining staff during the pandemic, okay? As we know, that was a very difficult time. And so as a childcare owner, I'm very sure that it was difficult for you to, continue to keep on staff and to continue to make payroll and to even maintain your payroll. So that's what the ERC is all about, okay? Now, I want to bust a myth that says that the Employee Retention Credit is a scam. The Employee Retention Credit is not a scam. It's very much live and active today, okay? Today is going to be June 13th, 2023, okay? That's the timestamp on today's date. That's when this video was made for the childcare owner. So it is still live and active today. This Employee Retention Credit is going to be active until the 2024 year if you qualify for 2020. Also throughout 2025 if you qualify for the ERC in regards to the 2021 year, okay? And we'll dive into that later in this video so you have a clearer understanding of what I mean by expiration dates and why there are two different expiration dates, okay? So the question that is sparking the curiosity of many childcare owners is, how do I qualify for the ERC, or do I even qualify? Okay, now there's one reason. So if you're taking notes, I want you to pay close attention to this first option. The first option, or the first requirement that you could possibly qualify for the ERC, is if in 2020, because remember the pandemic happened in March of 2020, okay? So if in the 2020 year you had a reduction of revenues by 50% in comparison to that same quarter in 2019, there is a possibility that you may qualify for the ERC for your operations. So let me just give you an example. Let's just say that in the second quarter of 2020, which is going to consist of April, May, and June, that's the second quarter. Let's just say in the second quarter of 2020, you had a reduction of revenues by 50% or more in comparison to that same quarter in 2019. So guess what? You will possibly qualify for the ERC for that particular quarter. So let's just say, for another example, in 2020, for the third quarter, which consists of July, August, September, you had a reduction in revenues of 55% in comparison to the third quarter in 2019. It's a possibility that you will qualify for the ERC in that particular quarter, okay? So you don't have to qualify for every quarter. It's a possibility that you may qualify for one quarter, and you may qualify for all 3 quarters in 2020. It's just very important that if you do apply for the ERC, that you definitely get with a financial professional that can, lead and give you a better understanding and more clarity as it pertains to your child care. Because since the ERC has came about, the rules and the laws and everything, they've changed numerous times. So it's very important that you get up-to-date information as it pertains to the employee retention credit. Okay. So again, just going back, that's one way that you can qualify. If any particular quarter in 2020, in comparison to that same quarter in 2019, you had a reduction in revenues by 50%. Okay. That's one way to qualify. Another way to qualify is, just say, for instance, you were suspended. Your operations were suspended by a government ordered mandate, a state ordered mandate, a city ordered mandate, just a local authoritative official. You had to operate partially due to the pandemic. So what's an example? So for instance, let's just say you have a classroom, and the classroom had, regularly, without the pandemic going on, it had 2 teachers in that classroom, okay? But let's just say because of the pandemic that your enrollment reduced and you only needed 1 teacher for that particular classroom. Or let's just say because, everything had to be 6 feet apart, maybe you could not have a full classroom of your normal enrollment. Maybe you had to half the size of your enrollment for that particular classroom and, reduce the staff as well. That's called partial operations, okay? So in that particular case, there may be a possibility that you can qualify for the ERC, given that particular example that I just gave you. So those are the 2 ways that you can qualify, which is why I advise the child care owner, definitely talk with the financial professional, because just maybe you did have a reduction in revenues from that first example I gave you in comparison to the 2019 quarter or any quarter in 2019, but maybe you had partial operations and you were required by your state, the government, city authoritative officials to partially operate or have your doors closed for a certain quarter or for that year or whatever the case may be. There is a possibility that you can qualify for the ERC. So definitely do not count yourself out, guys. Do not count yourself out, because this is, like I said, employee retention credit. Credit is money that you get back dollar for dollar. This is not money that you have to pay back, okay? This is not money that you have to pay back. I get this question all the time. If I do receive the ERC, the employee retention credit, is it taxable money? Yes, it is taxable money. So what does that mean? That means that, let's just say you qualify for the ERC as it pertains to the 2021 year. Well, if you've already filed your tax return for 2021, and let's just say you get ERC monies of 50 grand, well, then you will have to go amend your 2021 tax return, because you have to now include $50,000 of additional income that you received, and you have to put that on your 2021 amended tax return, as that income does have to be reported to the IRS and taxes have to be paid on it. That's just why I say definitely want to get a financial professional on your side in regards to this ERC, so that you can make sure that you're doing things the right way, and that, you're not just getting the ERC, but you also filing the taxes on whatever ERC monies that you get, so that, you won't have this huge tax liability, because that financial professional that you get to help you with this, they should be able to assist you in offsetting that additional income and things like that, okay? Now, getting to, okay, let's just say you qualify for, let's just say you have partial operations. Let's say you qualify for the ERC in that aspect. What does that mean? How much do you get for your employees? Now, keep in mind that this is not for contracted workers. These have to be employees. How do you know if they're employees? Did you issue their W-2 to them? Okay, that's how you know if they're your employee. Are they on the payroll? Okay, do you pay payroll taxes on them? That's how you know if these particular people are your employees as opposed to contracted workers, okay? So let's just say you have 10 employees and you qualify for the ERC for the 2020 year as well as the 2021 year, okay? Let's just say that's the scenario. So for the 2020 year, you qualify for the ERC, you can get up to 50% of $10,000 per employee for that year, okay? Now, let's just say that you qualify for the ERC for the 2021 year. That means that you can get up to, now listen closely, notice I said in 2020, you can get up to 50% of $10,000 per employee for that year.